We tend to focus on migration, why people move and the causes and consequences of that movement. It can be equally interesting to focus on what could be called the drivers of migration governance. That really means how officials, political leaders, those with responsibility for, in some sense, making decisions about migration or shaping policies, how they understand the causes and consequences of migration. What are the risks and uncertainties they see as attached to international migration now and in the future? So essentially, the drivers of migration governance are the way in which actors within migration governance systems interpret the effects of economic change, political change, social change, demographic change, and also the effects of environmental and climate change. So even though it's a view and understanding, a perception, the effects are very real.
My key interest is in the relationship between state institutions and citizens of those states who live elsewhere. And one of the key things which has happened over the last few years that states have become much more aware of the significance of those relationships, and they've encouraged those relationships to develop in various ways, allowing people to vote, for example, or in some cases providing support for them in the countries where they're living. And this has significant impacts for the ways in which those individuals feel that they belong to their states of origin or citizenship and link back to them in different ways.
The word crisis probably is a little bit abused, but it's difficult to find a different wording to name the phase that European countries are facing now, with a recession that reduced the demand of labor and that changed the shape of third national country migration, and the asylum seeker, the international political crisis that create an increasing flow of asylum seekers.
I wouldn't say that what we observe now in terms of migration flows is that much different to what we observed in last decades or even centuries. It's still more or less about forced migration, asylum seekers, refugees, seasonal migrants, low-skilled, highly skilled migrants. When talking about migration, when trying to explain migration, how it works, how it develops, we refer to relatively well-known theories. So this is not that much novelty in that. However, apparently emphasis changes. There is a growing focus on the transnational context. So there is a bigger and bigger emphasis on the role of migrant networks, on transnational linkages, including the role of diasporas, and in fact how migrants are present in those transnational spaces.